I want to travel right now, but I'm not, right? I want to pack my bags and go to mountains right now. And I can, but I would not because I know this is not going to help me, right? I want to go to Rishikesh. I want to go to Beer. I want to go to Jaipur. I can do it right now. I can pick my bike. I can take my car. I can get on a bus. I can get on a plane. But I am not doing that, right? I can order food right now. Well, food is something I have to order a few times a day, but then I delay the reward, as much as I can, right? So that's how I'm coping with it right now. That I'm more aware that there is something. If I keep resisting and if I keep kind of delaying the gratification, the levels and everything are gonna, my system is gonna fight back, and I'm gonna be back to enjoying those things again, right? So no, I'm gonna be more aware about it, right? Hey guys, how you doing? So while I was just uploading the video about dopamine, how to naturally boost dopamine, the last video, I realized while uploading it and playing with the keywords that resistance or deficiency, I'm not even sure which one I have, right? And that made me research a little more that are they actually two different things? Because of course they are two different words and they would have two different connotations, right? Resistance would mean that different thing. You are resistant to dopamine, that you are not absorbing or reacting to dopamine, and deficiency would mean that you are not producing dopamine. So I went back to AI and kind of researched a little, and let's get on with it. What does it say? And let's see, and I'll build on with it, right? Dopamine resistance versus dopamine deficiency. Well, dopamine does play a crucial role in motivation, pleasure, and overall mental well-being. However, when dopamine level becomes unbalanced, it can lead to dopamine deficiency or resistance, both of which can negatively affect mood, focus, and energy. While they can sound similar, they stem from different causes and require different solutions. So what's the difference between dopamine resistance and dopamine deficiency? And how can we restore a healthy balance? Let's deep dive into the science and practical ways to fix these issues, right? So what is dopamine and why does it matter? Well, dopamine is a neurotransmitter that acts as a chemical messenger in the brain and is responsible for motivation and goal setting, feeling pleasure and reward, regulating mood and focus, controlling movement, important for conditions like Parkinson's disease, reinforcing learning and habit formation. When dopamine is well regulated, we feel driven, accomplished, and content. However, when there is an issue with dopamine production or sensitivity, things can start to feel off. This is where dopamine deficiency and dopamine resistance come in. Dopamine deficiency is when the brain lacks dopamine. Dopamine deficiency occurs when the brain doesn't produce enough dopamine or has too few dopamine receptors to process it properly. This leads to low energy, lack of motivation, and even depression. Cause of dopamine deficiency: several factors can contribute to low dopamine levels. Nutrient deficiency: lack of protein, tyrosine, and phenylalanine in your diet affects dopamine production. If you know me from past, I have abused diet a lot. Chronic stress: long-term stress depletes dopamine reserves. Well, stress तो मैंने लिया है. Lack of sleep: sleep deprivation reduces dopamine receptor activity. For last few years, though I've been sleeping. Neurological conditions: Parkinson's disease, ADHD, and depression are linked to low dopamine levels. Probably little bit of ADHD and depression. Sedentary lifestyle: a lack of physical activity can slow down dopamine production. Lack of physical activity was a lifestyle. Long-term drug or alcohol use can damage dopamine producing neurons. Where do I hide? I need to hide somewhere. Symptoms of dopamine deficiency: chronic fatigue and low energy, lack of motivation and interest in activities, mood swings or persistent depression, poor focus and memory, loss of pleasure, increased cravings for sugar, caffeine, or stimulants. Well, dopamine resistance: when the dopamine becomes numb to dopamine. Dopamine resistance happens when the brain becomes overexposed to high levels of dopamine, causing it to reduce its sensitivity to dopamine signals. This means you need stronger or more frequent stimulation to feel the same pleasure or motivation. I think this is coming into my zone now. I'm feeling it. Causes of dopamine resistance: overstimulation, constant exposure to high dopamine activities, social media, gaming, junk food. Oh my God, it's fucking, that was my life for years, right? Social media, boom, boom, boom. Like, oh my God, eat low. Oh, it was crazy. It was like dopamine on demand. And gaming, I played so many games all night long. I used to be glued on. I had a gaming system and everything. Junk food, it was all about junk food. Addictive behaviors, overuse of caffeine. I'm all about caffeine. Sugar, now I don't do it. Drugs, let's not talk about them. Or even can desensitize dopamine receptors, right? Chronic overconsumption, binge watching. I have done that so much. Scrolling endlessly on social media, that's what I do. And overeating hijacks the reward system. Instant gratification culture. The brain becomes wired to expect quick rewards, making everyday activities feel dull. I've been telling this to my friends that I've done so much things, that I've traveled so much, been to so many places, that it just feels like been there, done that, right? That's the phrase you will use. That's dopamine resistance. Been there, done that. Symptoms of dopamine resistance: feeling numb to pleasure. Things that once made you happy no longer excite you, right? How many burgers will excite me? But now I think they are starting to excite me again. I think because I've been kind of healing, and I'm becoming aware about it. I have not been, I've been taking a break from stimulating myself from dopamine activities. Now that I know, I will be more aware about it. For example, like I want to travel right now, but I'm not, right? I want to pack my bags and go to mountains right now. And I can, but I would not, because I know this is not going to help me, right? I want to go to Rishikesh, I want to go to Beer, I want to go to Jaipur. I can do it right now. I can pick my bike, I can take my car, I can get on a bus, I can get on a plane. But I am not doing that, right? I can order food right now. Well, food is something I have to order a few times a day, but then I delay the reward, as much as I can, right? So that's how I'm coping with it right now. That I'm more aware that there is something. If I keep resisting, and if I keep kind of delaying the gratification, the levels and everything, I'm gonna, my system is gonna fight back, and I'm gonna be back to enjoying those things again, right? So no, I'm gonna be more aware about it, right? Well, symptoms of dopamine resistance: needing stronger stimulation, craving more extreme experiences to feel the same enjoyment. For example, now I don't want to go to Pushkar, I want to go to Thailand or Pai, right? I don't want to go to Pondicherry, I want to go to Europe. Short attention span, difficulty focusing on tasks without quick rewards. I mean, I want to make videos quickly, right? I just don't want to spend time learning and a week researching on a video and, quickly doing. I just want to get on with it and get some feedback going in, some likes and some views to get my dopamine, kicking. I don't have patience to spend a week or 2 weeks on a video and see, then how it will flow. Don't have time for that shit. Short attention span, lack of motivation, finding it hard to work towards long-term goals, increased procrastination, seeking constant distraction instead of meaningful tasks. Mm. Yeah, I do, but I am kind of a builder, so I kind of, this is my way of distracting myself, but this is also a meaningful task, right? Dopamine deficiency versus dopamine resistance, key differences, right? The brain isn't producing enough dopamine. The brain is overstimulated and no longer responds well to dopamine, right? That's a key difference. Causes: poor diet, stress, lack of sleep, neurological conditions, that is deficiency. When we come to resistance: overuse of high dopamine activities, social media, gaming, junk food. Symptoms: fatigue, low motivation, depression. Well, for dopamine resistance, the symptoms are feeling numb, needing stronger stimulation, procrastination. How it feels: like your brain is running on empty, no joy or drive, like your brain is numb, your brain need bigger rewards to feel pleasure. Well, I think I need to ask the comparison between the feeling. Next video, I'm gonna ask. I was wondering that how the feeling is different in resistance and in deficiency, right? That would help me diagnose this better, self-diagnose it. So I'm gonna run I'm gonna put this next in the query thing, and I'm gonna figure out that, okay, is there a difference between the feelings? What are the key differences, right? What does the science say? What does the AI know about, how the feelings are different, how critical or how scientific we have been about our feelings, right? What data we have about them, right? So that would be a very interesting study for me, and probably a video for some of you, right? So recovery methods: healthy diet, exercise, meditation, sleep, sun exposure. Well, dopamine detox, mindful habits, delayed gratification, reducing overstimulation. How to fix dopamine deficiency and resistance? Fixing both these things, well, number one, for boosting dopamine levels: eating dopamine rich foods, exercise regularly, get enough sleep, meditate, and spend time in sunlight. Again, same things, right? And fixing resistance, again, same things: detox, delay gratification, prioritize real life rewards, limit instant gratification, and exercise discipline, right? And when we say what does it mean by real life rewards, that's very important, right? Meaningful activities like socializing, learning new skills, and long-term goals. Watch my other video about dopamine, right? That would help you. And I think that would be it for the time being. I'm excited about the next video already. My dopamine is going naturally. Cheers, guys. See you later.